This is a video about rest. But first, we have to talk about hustle culture. Another day, another dollar. No excuses, no breaks, because every single second spent not being productive is a second wasted. And as a full-time freelancer, I live by these words. They allow me to push my limits and define who I was. But without balance, I found myself burnt out. And if I'm being honest, I never really had a good relationship with rest. Even when I was younger, I've been hustling since I can remember. And now I'm on a mission to mend that relationship without killing my ambition. Ambition isn't nearly the problem. In fact, I'm what some would describe as overly ambitious. The problem lies in how I prioritize and organize those ambitions. You see, I thrive off being productive. In fact, I feel a little guilty when I'm not being productive when I know I could be productive. Or even worse, not allowing myself to rest until I've done something productive. And you can see where the bad habits start to build from there. Here's what I've learned. Two things mainly. After years of dealing with countless burnouts, first, rest is productive. For the longest time, I never even considered rest. I was never taught rest, let alone it being a productive activity. The fact of the matter is, even though I almost always feel like I can keep going, the body is always keeping a score, and it affects how I show up for not only myself, but for others as well. If I truly honor productivity and all the ambitious projects and things I'm working on, then rest has to be a priority. The other thing I learned that has been so important to my journey is that rest can look a lot of different ways. And when you think about it, rest is going to look different for everybody. We all live different lifestyles, and that requires different things. The point is that we're intentional about making it a habit to show up for ourselves. So, as an overly ambitious multi-hyphenate, the question still stands. How do I prioritize rest while maintaining a busy lifestyle? Let me start by saying all of this is easier said than done. With that said, if you can, get away. You know that clarity you get when you're away from home and you wake up in an environment you've never been in? Yeah, that's your brain getting a break from the day-to-day that it's always concerned about. But taking a trip with such a busy lifestyle doesn't always seem practical. So for me, these oftentimes are work trips. A trip that I extended a little longer so that I could have some time for myself. And this is one of the hacks I use all the time. I market myself in a way that I can be hired in other states and places, and I take advantage of those client trips to have a little trip for myself. And that way my mind and body get a chance to relax and reset. Now, a trip isn't always in the cards, so I had to find ways to rest in my day-to-day. For me, it's a slow morning. I don't know about you, but I'm the type to start working the minute I open my eyes. So doing the exact opposite has done wonders for me. I can't do this every day, but taking 1 to 2 days out of my week when I can to have a slow morning or even a slow afternoon or evening really gives me the opportunity to break the pattern of my everyday hustle. And ultimately, I get a better start to my day, moving through it more organized and confident. But as you know, there are levels to this. And some days a slow morning isn't gonna work. Trust me when I say I know that life be life, and sometimes things just gotta get done. So when that's the case, I take breaks. Especially in parts of my day where I feel overwhelmed or overworked. A lot of you may not think of this as a big deal or even consider this real rest. But if you're not getting any rest at all in the different ways that we talked about it today, then at the very least, you should be taking breaks throughout your day. It's so easy for us to overwork ourselves, especially if you're even a little bit overly ambitious. But that may be one of the fastest routes to burnout. And burnout isn't some badge of honor that you've been working so hard. It's almost a cry for help from your body. At the end of the day, we get back what we put in. So if you never prioritize or focus on rest, you'll forever be out of balance. And trust me, adulting takes a lot out of all of us. But rest isn't some reward. It's not something you have to earn. It should be something that's part of the program. It's what keeps your ambitions alive and balanced. And it's up to each of us to strike that balance and find out what that looks like for us. A lot of us go through this part of the journey alone, but that's why I made this video, so we don't have to. So leave it in the comments about how you rest, your relationship to rest, or if rest is even a priority to you. If you found this video helpful at all, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, and remember, get some rest.